you've been flying this bird now since 6 a.m.
Correct.
How does she fly?
The aircraft is in fantastic shape. It flies like a champ. No issues whatsoever. It was a really smooth flight all the way up from Yuma.
So as a pilot, you're pretty happy with the new acquisition?
Absolutely. This aircraft is in pristine condition. The county is really fortunate to be able to have an opportunity to use this type of an aircraft, and to have an additional asset available to the community is going to be fantastic.
And then just briefly, how is it the program works? How were we able to acquire this craft?
Sure, this aircraft came through the LESO arm of the Department of Defense. So that's the Law Enforcement Support Office of the Department of Defense. So when the DoD has equipment that is no longer being used but is still valuable to the community, it's a taxpayer asset, they make it available to local and municipal government agencies for their use. As long as they maintain them and fly them to DoD standards, then the Department of Defense has no problem lending them to us.
The board report gives it a value of $922,000 roughly. But actually, what's the overall benefit to the community?
Sure. Although the DoD values this aircraft at $922,000, that's a bargain at twice the price. I will tell you that the average Huey out there goes for easily $2 to $3 million a copy, but the money value is nothing compared to the community value, where we have an additional firefighting and search and rescue asset available that we didn't have for approximately 4 months out of the year. When our other helicopter, Raven Huey, was being maintained for those 4 months, we had no options to go out and fight fires or rescue people. Now we have those options.
And my understanding too is that this will also allow the Raven program to extend its life by at least another decade.
That's correct, because we're spreading out the amount of wear and tear that we're putting on. Instead of just one aircraft, we're spreading that out to 2 aircraft. We're actually extending the life of both of those airframes, and we're expanding the program's viability for at least a decade.
And what's the plan, or have you decided yet? Will one of the Hueys be dedicated to fire work, since that requires different equipment, and then the other one for more of the search and rescue and other operations?
Right. By DoD standards, we're required to use each of these aircraft 51% of the time for law enforcement missions, which includes search and rescue. So both aircraft will likely be capable of fighting both firefighting missions as well as search and rescue. I think it's a fantastic aircraft, and we love it. It's fantastic.